This is the story of a 2009 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny that shocked the coin world. A coin so rare, so mysterious, and so valuable that collectors are still arguing about how it ever made it into circulation. And if you've ever held a 2009 penny in your hands, you need to hear this, that it all begins in 2009, the year the United States Mint celebrated the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Four special reverse designs were released that year: birthplace, formative years, professional life, and presidency, each representing a different chapter of Lincoln's life. Millions of these coins were minted, but only a handful were struck with a strange, jaw-dropping error. A few of these 2009 Lincoln cents, especially those with no mint mark, the ones that should have been ordinary Philadelphia issues, turned out to have anomalies that defied explanation. Some were struck on older wheat penny planchets. That's right, a modern 2009 penny, showing Lincoln's cabin or his early years, but minted on an old wheat penny blank. This bizarre mix-up created a perfect storm of rarity, beauty, and historical mystery. Collectors couldn't believe it when the first one surfaced. It looked like a typical Lincoln bicentennial penny, until you flipped it or looked closer and realized the metal composition wasn't right. The color, the sheen, the weight, they whispered of something older. That's when experts discovered it was struck on a leftover wheat penny planchet from decades earlier. A mistake that should have been impossible. And that impossibility is what made it worth over $2 million. But what makes this story truly unbelievable is how ordinary it all seems. Every single day, people spend, drop, and overlook these coins. They sit in junk drawers, coffee cans, glove boxes, and pocket change. That means the next time you pull out a 2009 penny with no mint mark, you might be holding a fortune in your fingers. Here's how you can tell if you have one. Start by looking for the obvious: no mint mark under the date. That means it was made in Philadelphia. Then, take a closer look at the reverse design. Is it one of the four Lincoln designs from 2009? If so, that's your starting point. But the real magic lies in the metal itself. Compare the color. True copper pennies before 1982 have a deep, rich tone, while post-1982 pennies look more orange or bright. If your 2009 penny has that old copper look, you might have something extraordinary. Next, weigh it. A normal 2009 penny weighs about 2.5 grams. A wheat penny blank, a copper one, weighs around 3.1 grams. That tiny difference could mean the difference between 1 cent and $2 million. If your scale shows over 3 grams, stop everything. You might be holding one of the most valuable modern pennies ever found. Collectors who've stumbled across these coins describe the moment as surreal. One man said he almost spent it on a cup of coffee. Another found his in a box of change he hadn't opened in 15 years. Imagine that. Years of ordinary life, and suddenly, one coin changes everything. How could a modern coin end up struck on a planchet from the 1950s or 1960s? That's the question that keeps even the most seasoned numismatists awake at night. Some say it was a leftover blank that somehow remained stuck in mint machinery for decades. Others whisper about mint workers who noticed something odd and quietly let it go. Whatever the truth, that mystery adds to the allure and the value. The 2009 no mint mark wheat Lincoln penny isn't just a coin. It's a time traveler. It carries the story of America's past, the legacy of Lincoln himself, and the magic of human error that transformed a single cent into a millionaire's dream. There may be more of them. Experts believe a few handfuls could still be out there, unnoticed. Maybe tucked in an old coin album. Maybe rolling around in a cash register at a small-town gas station. Maybe sitting right where you least expect it, in your home. Now picture this. You're going through your spare change on a quiet evening. You see a 2009 penny. It looks a little darker, a little heavier. You set it aside, curious. The next day, you weigh it. Your heart races as the number 3.1 flashes on your screen. Could this be it? You hold it up to the light. It's got no mint mark. You compare it to an ordinary penny, and you realize it's different. It's real. Your hands shake. Your pulse quickens. In that moment, your entire life changes. You're holding $2 million in your fingertips, a coin most people would never look twice at. This story reminds us that fortune doesn't always come from where we expect. Sometimes it hides in the smallest corners of our lives, disguised as something ordinary. And for coin collectors, that's the thrill, The endless hope that one more coin, one more look, could unlock history and change everything. Keep searching, keep learning, and never overlook the details. Because the rarest treasures aren't always found by experts. They're discovered by the curious, the patient, and the ones who dare to look twice. Imagine this. You're holding what seems like an ordinary penny, dull, brown, forgotten in a jar or tucked behind your couch cushions. But what if I told you that one of those simple 1975 Lincoln pennies, a coin you've seen 1,000 times, could secretly be worth over $1 million? That's right, a single, ordinary-looking penny that could change your life forever. A penny worth more than a mansion. But as every serious coin collector knows, history hides its secrets in plain sight. And this one, the 1975 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, might just be the most shocking secret of all. Let's start with a mystery. In 1975, the U.S. Mint struck hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents, each bearing the face of Abraham Lincoln, just as they had since 1909. Most came from Philadelphia, others from Denver or San Francisco. But something strange happened. A handful of coins escaped the mint without their identifying marks. No D for Denver. No S for San Francisco. Not even the usual sign that says Philadelphia. Just blank. A silent, smooth space beneath the date, 1975. And for decades, no one knew they existed. Imagine working at the mint back then. The sound of presses pounding metal day and night. Sheets of copper flashing under bright lights. A simple misalignment, a die swap, a moment of human error. That's all it takes. Out of billions of coins, just a few slip through. Perfectly struck, but missing that tiny mint mark. To most people, nothing seems unusual. But to collectors, to those who study every detail, it's a treasure map in metal form. A collector at a small-town coin show in the late 80s, flipping through a handful of old pennies. One catches his eye. No mint mark. 1975. At first, he thinks nothing of it. But under a magnifying glass, he notices something different. The sharpness of Lincoln's profile, the crisp edges, the weight that feels just a touch off. He takes it home. Weeks later, experts confirm it. The coin wasn't just different. It was unique. Priceless. A missing mark from a specific die pairing. Its estimated worth? Over $1 million. More than your retirement savings? That's the dream that drives collectors. The thrill of the impossible discovery. Now, before you rush to your coin jar, let's slow down and learn exactly what to look for. Because these valuable coins aren't just random. They have very specific clues. First, start with the date. 1975, no mint mark under the year. That's your first sign. If you see a tiny D or S, move on. But if it's clean, no letter, just smooth copper, take a closer look. Second, examine the texture and tone. Genuine copper pennies from that era weigh about 3.11 grams. You can use a digital scale to check. If it feels lighter or heavier, it might be a different composition or even a counterfeit. But if it hits that exact weight, your heart should skip a beat. Third, check Lincoln's portrait. On the valuable no-mint mark versions, the engraving is deep and sharp. The lines in his coat are crisp. The rim is strong. And the surface has a distinct reddish-brown luster that hasn't faded into dull gray. Every tiny detail tells a story, and this story could lead straight to $1 million discovery. Take a breath for a moment and think about this. The pennies we ignore every day are artifacts of American history. They pass from hand to hand, decade after decade. One could have been in a soldier's pocket, a child's piggy bank, or a store clerk's till. And now, one might be sitting in yours, a relic that could change your future overnight. Collectors have spent years chasing the rarest versions of the Lincoln penny. The 1909 SVB, the 1955 double die, the 1969 S double die obverse, and now, the 1975 no mint mark. But unlike those earlier legends, this one is elusive, whispered about, rarely seen. Experts debate whether the missing mint mark came from an experimental die or a limited test batch. Some even believe it was intentional, a quiet mint mistake never meant for the public. These coins exist, and when one surfaces, the numismatic world stops. Now, let's reset. Picture yourself sitting at your kitchen table. The sound of coins clinking from an old jar. You dump them out, start sorting, 1964, 1982, 1993, then your eyes freeze. 1975, no mint mark. The air seems to thicken. Your pulse quickens. You hold it up to the light, your fingers trembling. The copper shines with that deep, vintage hue. You check again, no letter. Smooth, perfect. Could you be holding $1 million penny? That's the magic of this hunt. Every collector, every hobbyist, dreams of that one coin that changes everything. And here's the truth. Anyone can find one. Because these coins weren't released as part of a collector's set. They were spent, circulated, and forgotten. That means they're out there, buried in drawers, sitting in coffee cans, trapped in old rolls of pennies gathering dust. Every few years, one resurfaces. And when it does, headlines follow. Bidding wars break out. And another ordinary person suddenly finds themselves in the spotlight. Their life changed by a single cent. Take it to a certified coin dealer or send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it, weigh it, and verify its die features. A coin in mint condition, meaning barely handled, sharp details, bright copper, can command astronomical prices, and don't underestimate condition. A lightly circulated 1975 no mint mark might bring in thousands. But a pristine, uncirculated example, that's where the $1 million dream comes true. Imagine the moment they tell you the news. This coin is genuine. You look down at that tiny penny, the same kind you've spent your whole life ignoring, and realize it just made you a millionaire. If that's more than luck. That's history rewarding curiosity, patience, and passion. Every collector knows it's not just about money. It's about the story, the thrill of discovery, the feeling that maybe, just maybe, you were chosen to find something the world forgot. And if you think it can't happen to you, remember this. Almost every great coin discovery started with someone who thought the same thing. So check your change. Dig through your jars. Pull out those old coin rolls. Because one of them could carry a legend. The 1975 no mint Mark Lincoln penny. Simple, unassuming, but priceless beyond imagination. A coin that proves even the smallest things can hold the biggest secrets. Imagine a coin worth over $1 million, hiding in plain sight. A simple 1984 Lincoln penny, the kind you've probably spent 100 times without a second thought. But one of these ordinary-looking coins isn't ordinary at all. It's a mystery buried in copper and zinc, a mistake so small that it created one of the most valuable pennies in American history. The 1984 no mint Mark Lincoln penny. It all began quietly, in the bustling minting halls of Philadelphia. Machines clattered, presses thundered, and thousands of pennies rolled off the line every minute. To the untrained eye, every coin looked identical. But one press, one single die, carried a secret flaw. It was just enough to create a double image, a doubling so subtle that most people never even noticed it. That flaw would turn a 1-cent coin into a $1 million legend. For years, collectors have whispered about this error coin. The 1984 double die obverse penny. No mint mark. No warning. Just an ordinary penny hiding an extraordinary truth. The doubling appears most clearly on Lincoln's ear, a second, ghost-like earlobe beneath the first. That tiny detail, smaller than a grain of rice, is the clue that separates an everyday cent from one worth more than a house, more than a dream, more than $1 million. You're holding a handful of change, sorting through it half absent-mindedly. A dull copper coin catches your eye. It's from 1984, nothing special. But then, in the right light, you notice something strange. Lincoln's ear looks different. You tilt it. You look closer. And there it is, that faint, doubled outline. Every great treasure story begins this way, with someone who almost didn't look twice. Someone who almost missed their chance. The 1984 double die penny wasn't discovered by experts in a lab or collectors at an auction. It was found by regular people. People who checked their change. People who paid attention. That's the magic of coin collecting. History, mystery, and fortune all hiding in plain sight. Start with the obverse. That's the front of the coin. Look closely at Lincoln's ear. You'll see a faint second earlobe just below the first. It's not a shadow. It's not a scratch. It's the result of a double die, a rare mechanical error that happened when the coin's die was imprinted twice, slightly out of alignment. This doubling is strong enough to be seen without a magnifying glass if the light hits just right, but a 5x or 10x loop makes it unmistakable. The reverse side, the Lincoln Memorial, will look normal. The key is the ear, Now, there's something you should know. There are countless fake or machine-doubled coins out there, but true double-die coins are unique. The doubling is raised, crisp, and looks like an exact second impression, not smeared or flat. And because it happened at the die stage, every genuine 1984 double-die penny will show that exact same doubling on Lincoln's ear and jawline. Imagine how many of these pennies are still out there. They were never recalled, never pulled from circulation. They've been passed from hand to hand, pocket to pocket, for over 40 years. Somewhere, maybe right now, someone just used one to buy a cup of coffee without realizing they spent a fortune. That's what makes this story both haunting and thrilling. Collectors have paid thousands, even tens of thousands, for verified examples in pristine condition. A flawless, uncirculated 1984 double-die penny, authenticated and graded at the highest level, could fetch prices near or above $1 million. Think about that. 1 cent transformed into a life-changing sum. A reminder that sometimes destiny hides in the smallest of things. But beyond the money, there's something deeper about this coin. It's a symbol of how small imperfections can lead to extraordinary value. A mistake became a masterpiece. An error became an icon. And it's proof that in a world of billions of coins, there's always a chance that you could be the one who finds the next treasured. As you listen to this, maybe you're thinking back. The spare change jar in your kitchen, the pennies lying forgotten in an old coffee can, the jar your grandfather used to fill by the bedside. What if one of those is the 1984 no mint mark penny? What if your family has been sitting on $1 million coin for decades without realizing it? Stories have surfaced across the country. A retired teacher in Ohio found one while rolling up change for the bank. A mechanic in Florida spotted the doubled ear while cleaning his toolbox. Each story begins the same way, with curiosity, and ends with disbelief. The disbelief that something so ordinary could be worth so much. And that's why every collector, every treasure hunter, every dreamer in America keeps looking. Because the next great find doesn't require a metal detector or a trip to a gold mine. It might be sitting right there, on your dresser, or hiding between the couch cushions. All it takes is one glance at the right coin, one moment of recognition, and your life could change forever. If you want to identify yours with certainty, use a magnifying glass and good lighting. Compare it with verified photos online from trusted coin grading services like PCGS or NGC. If it looks right, that doubled ear, that crisp detail, you might be holding history. Send it for grading. Authentication transforms a curiosity into a treasure. Once it's certified, its value becomes real. The world of coin collecting is filled with stories like this, but few are as poetic as the 1984 no mint mark penny. A coin made to be spent and forgotten, instead remembered forever. Its value isn't just in the metal, but in the story it tells. The story of how one mistake turned an everyday object into $1 million mystery. The next time you reach into your pocket, slow down. Look closer. The pennies you ignore today might be the ones that change your tomorrow. The thrill of discovery is waiting, hidden beneath decades of dust and time. Somewhere, out there, another collector's heart will skip a beat when they finally find that doubled ear. That it's not just about luck. It's about awareness. It's about curiosity. It's about believing that there are still secrets left in the world, secrets stamped into copper by accident, waiting to be found by someone who dares to look. This isn't a fantasy. This isn't a legend. It's real. $1 million coin, minted by mistake, lost in circulation, waiting for its rediscovery. Imagine this. A single copper penny, one you could have spent on a pack of gum back in the day, now worth over $1 million. That's right. A 1962 Lincoln penny that has sent shockwaves through the coin-collecting world. Somewhere in America, tucked inside an old coffee can, a dresser drawer, or a forgotten jar of change, one of these record-breaking coins could be waiting to change someone's life forever. It all began in Denver, 1962. The U.S. Mint was running at full throttle, stamping billions of Lincoln cents made mostly of copper, 95% pure. But not every coin came out as planned. Somewhere between the clatter of machines and the rhythm of metal against die, a mistake was born. A minting error so subtle, so precise, that it would go unnoticed for decades. A penny that looked ordinary at first glance, but under the right light, under the right magnifying glass, it revealed something extraordinary. Collectors today whisper about it. The 1962 D rarity, a coin that carries secrets buried in the copper itself. What makes it special isn't just its age or condition. It's the story etched into its surface, a story of chance, precision, and time. Now, imagine holding a coin that feels like every other penny, smooth, worn, simple. But then, you flip it, you study it, and your heart skips. The mint mark D, stamped just slightly off, or doubled, a sign of a rare minting anomaly. This is the clue that can turn an everyday coin into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. The kind of discovery that can transform an ordinary afternoon into $1 million moment. Pause and think about it. How many times have you walked past a coin jar, brushed off a handful of change, or let a penny roll under the car seat? What if, in that small act of indifference, you've ignored a fortune? The 1962 D penny isn't just a coin. It's a key, a link to history, to craftsmanship, and to unimaginable value. Let's talk about what to look for. The 1962 D penny should first show that small d under the year, the Denver Mint mark. But the real magic lies in the details. You want to look for doubling. Check Liberty, and in God we trust. If those letters seem slightly shadowed, like they're echoing themselves, you might be staring at a doubled die, one of the most coveted minting errors in American coinage. Then, study the D itself. Some rare 1962 D pennies have what collectors call a D over D error, where the mint mark was accidentally punched twice. Under magnification, it looks like a ghostly twin, a faint second D, hovering under or beside the first. If your coin has that, it could easily be worth thousands, or even over $1 million in pristine condition. But condition matters. Coins that have been kept safe from scratches and oxidation. Coins that still shine with that rich, reddish luster of pure copper. Those are the true treasures. The ones graded mint state, often marked as MS 65 or higher by professional grading services, are the stars of the auction world. They can reach 6 or 7 figures, shocking even seasoned collectors. Every few years, one of these coins surfaces, often by accident. A man cleaning out his father's attic. A woman sorting her childhood collection. A collector scanning eBay listings and spotting a faint doubling in a blurry photo. These stories always end the same way. Disbelief, then joy, then a headline. Because the 1962 D penny, like a buried secret, loves to be rediscovered. Think about that. A 1-cent coin, the humblest of all denominations, capable of rewriting a person's destiny. A coin minted at a time when gasoline was 31 cents a gallon, when Kennedy was president, when America was on the cusp of the space race. A coin that has lived through generations, passed through countless hands, yet somehow survived long enough to reveal its hidden worth. Now, let's reset for a moment. If you're listening to this, grab your pennies. Find that old coffee jar, that dusty cigar box, that forgotten drawer. Start sorting. Separate the coins by year. When you find 1962, stop. Take a breath. Flip it over. Do you see that D? Good. Now, tilt it under a bright light. Move it slowly, side to side. Look for that doubling, that subtle shadowing on the letters. Every second you spend could be the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and a penny worth over $1 million. Collectors have learned that miracles in coin collecting often come in copper. The 1943 copper penny, the 1955 doubled die, and now, the 1962 D, a coin few believe could hold such power. Experts call it the sleeper, the one everyone overlooked. And yet, here it is, climbing auction records, stunning the numismatic community. What makes it even more remarkable is its mystery. Some experts believe the error occurred during a brief adjustment in die pressure at the Denver Mint. Others claim it was the result of human oversight, a mint worker rushing to meet production quotas. Whatever the cause, the result was magic, a 1 in a billion strike that would defy time itself. Holding it, realizing that the faint imperfection in your palm could pay off your mortgage, change your retirement, or rewrite your family's future? That's the power of numismatics, the blend of history, luck, and knowledge. And it's why collectors keep searching. Let's reset again. You're at your kitchen table now, coins spread out before you. The light hits them just right. One coin stands out, darker, maybe heavier in feeling. You pick it up. The year reads 1962. There it is, the D mint mark. You reach for a magnifying glass. Your pulse quickens. Could this be it? And maybe, just maybe, it is. Because every great coin discovery begins with that moment. A moment of doubt, curiosity, and hope. The most valuable coins often don't look perfect. Sometimes they have a unique tone, a copper patina that glows softly rather than shines. Don't clean it. Don't polish it. Authenticity matters more than shine. Leave it exactly as you found it. If you think you've found something special, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Let them authenticate it. Many people don't realize how small differences can mean massive value. The tiniest variation in die strike, alignment, or pressure can turn a coin from a collectible into a national treasure. One coin, one lucky strike, can cross that line. And the 1962 D penny is one of those FEW to SO as the years roll by. More collectors are turning their eyes to the humble Lincoln cent, rechecking their rolls, their albums, their forgotten stashes. Because hidden among them might be that $1,000,000 copper coin, the one no one believed existed. The story of the 1962 D penny is more than a story about money. It's a story about paying attention, about curiosity, about how the smallest things can hold the greatest value. It's about hope, the hope that something ordinary can still become extraordinary. People have found life-changing wealth not by chasing it, but by noticing what others overlook. The 1962 D penny is a perfect reminder of that. Every time you hold one, you hold a piece of America's past, and maybe, just maybe, your future, because this isn't just a coin. It's a hidden fortune, a historical accident, a miracle in metal. So tonight, when you empty your pockets or open that old drawer, take one more look before you let that penny go. Examine it closely, because one of them, the right one, could be worth over $1,000,000. Imagine this. A single copper-colored penny, tossed into your change jar years ago, now worth over $1.3 million. Yes, a 2018 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny, hiding in plain sight. Most people pass it by, never realizing they're holding a tiny piece of modern treasure. But those who know, those who look a little closer, could stumble onto a life-changing discovery that IT started quietly, as all great mysteries do. Somewhere in Denver, back in 2018, the U.S. Mint struck millions of Lincoln pennies, simple, everyday coins. But in that sea of copper-plated zinc, a handful were struck differently. A subtle error, a microscopic difference that escaped the quality checks. Maybe it was a double die, maybe a misaligned strike, or a rare off-metal minting that shouldn't have happened. Whatever it was, collectors now whisper about these coins, because a few have surfaced, shocking the entire coin world. Imagine the disbelief of the first person who found one. They thought it was an ordinary penny, until they noticed the faint doubling in Lincoln's eye, the sharp misprint on the word liberty, or the subtle irregularities in the D mint mark. After expert grading, that coin didn't just make headlines, it made history. A single penny, minted in 2018, authenticated and valued at over $1.3 million. Now pause for a moment. Think about how many 2018 pennies you've handled since then. At the grocery store, the gas station, maybe in a tip jar. They pass through thousands of hands, quietly carrying a secret no one notices. But tonight, you're going to know what to look for, because this story could easily become yours. Let's talk about that Denver Mint mark, the tiny D under the date. It's more than just a letter. On some of these rare coins, it's slightly doubled or misaligned. If the D looks thicker than usual, or if you see a faint shadow of a second D beside it, don't ignore it. That's your first clue. Flip the coin over. Look closely at the Lincoln Memorial or the Union Shield on the reverse side. If the lines are uneven, or if there's any doubling in the words 1 cent, United States of America, or the shield itself, you could be staring at something extraordinary. Breathe for a second. Let that sink in. A single error on a common penny, a tiny imperfection, can transform it into $1,000,000 masterpiece. These mistakes are accidents of history, the rarest moments when precision falters and magic happens. And you, a regular collector, might just be the one to uncover it. Picture the day you find it. You're sorting through your old coins, half distracted. Then your eyes catch something odd. The gleam is different. The strike seems sharper, or the mint mark looks off-center. Your heartbeat quickens. You grab a magnifying glass, tilt it under the light. That's when you see it. The doubling, the flaw, the proof. You rush online, your hands trembling, to confirm what you think you've found. And then it hits you. You're holding one of the most valuable modern pennies ever minted. The experts say only a handful exist. The combination of the 2018 date, the Denver mint mark, and the striking error is what makes this coin nearly priceless. Not just because of rarity, but because it shouldn't exist at all. It's an anomaly, a glitch in the system. And anomalies are where million-dollar legends are born. Let's reset your focus for a moment. You've probably heard of rare coins before. The 1943 copper penny, the 1955 double die. But what sets the 2018 D apart is that it's recent. It's still in circulation. It could be in your wallet right now. That's what makes it so thrilling. This isn't an ancient collector's artifact locked in a museum. It's a living mystery moving quietly through the modern world. Separate the 2018 pennies. Check each one for that Denver mint mark. Use a magnifying glass or your phone's macro lens. Look for any doubling in the letters, especially in Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date. Examine the edge of the coin. Some of the valuable errors show faint ridges or slightly thicker rims. These small signs are your map to a million-dollar discovery. And don't forget, condition matters. Even a rare penny can lose value if it's scratched or corroded. Handle it carefully by the edges. If you think you've found one, protect it immediately. Slide it into a plastic coin flip or holder. Then, contact a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll verify the strike, the mint mark, and the authenticity. If it's real, you'll know. And if it is, your life could change overnight. Pause again. Imagine the headlines. Ordinary penny found in kitchen drawer sells for over $1 million. It sounds unbelievable until it happens to you. Collectors all over the US are still searching, still checking, still hoping. Every 2018 penny they inspect carries a flicker of that dream. That's the beauty of coin collecting. It's not just about money. It's about discovery, history, and the thrill of the hunt. Each coin tells a story of human hands, of machines, of moments frozen in metal. And sometimes, one of those moments holds a secret worth more than gold. The 2018 D Lincoln penny that sold for over $1.3 million was once just spare change. Someone spent it without knowing. Someone else picked it up without care. Until one day, a collector looked a little closer and saw what no one else did. Take this as your sign. Check your coins, your jars, your wallets, your drawers. Because fortune doesn't always shout. Sometimes, it whispers from the smallest places. And tonight, it's whispering to you. We're diving deep into the mystery, the history, and the secrets behind the 1956 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny, a coin that has stunned experts and could turn an unsuspecting collector into a millionaire overnight. The story begins in Denver, 1956. America was booming. Elvis Presley ruled the airwaves, and the U.S. Mint was striking millions of pennies for a growing economy. Most of them were just simple copper cents, 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc, worth a single cent in value. But among those countless coins, a handful emerged that were different, strange, flawed in a way that defied explanation. And those tiny imperfections, invisible to most eyes, would one day make them worth a fortune. Collectors first whispered about them in the late 1970s. Rumors of a mysterious 1956 D wheat penny with a doubled mint mark, or a striking error so perfect it almost looked intentional. Some said they saw one at a coin show, others claimed they spotted it in a roll from the bank. But no one could prove it. The story drifted like smoke, fading and returning over the years, until one day a single coin surfaced, sold quietly at auction, for over $1.4 million. The news spread like wildfire. What made it special enough to change a collector's life forever? Let's uncover that step by step. The secret lies in its imperfections. The D mint mark, that tiny letter below the date, was hand-punched onto the die in 1956. And on a few of these pennies, the mint mark was accidentally stamped twice. Look closely, and you can see the faint shadow of a second D overlapping the first, a doubled mint mark, one of the rarest errors in numismatic history. But that's not all. Some 1956 D pennies were struck with misaligned dies, causing part of the design to appear slightly off-center. Others were struck on planchets, the blank discs used for coins, made from leftover metals from previous years. These small variations, invisible to most, make the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and one worth over $1 million. Now, imagine holding one. Imagine flipping it under the light, seeing that faint doubling of the D, realizing you're looking at something that could change your life forever. One moment you're a casual collector, and the next, you're holding history. Attention reset. Let's talk about what to actually look for. Pull out your magnifying glass, your coin loop, whatever you use to inspect your collection. Focus on three things: the mint mark, the color, and the condition. The mint mark should show a clear sign of doubling, almost like a ghosted D behind the main one. The color should be a rich, original red copper if it's been preserved well. And the condition? That's where the magic happens. A 1956 D wheat penny in mint state, graded MS 65 or higher, can command staggering prices. And if it has that error, it's not just valuable, it's life-changing. Now, a little emotional truth. Millions of people have handled these pennies at grocery stores, in pockets, passed down from parents to children, never realizing the treasure they held. It's a haunting thought, isn't it? How many life-changing coins have slipped through our fingers simply because we didn't look closely enough? A man in Ohio once bought a box of old coins from a yard sale for $20. Inside was a 1956 D penny that turned out to be one of these ultra-rare varieties. That coin later sold for $1.4 million. $20 turned into $1 million fortune because one man took the time to look. Back in the 1950s, minting was still a highly manual process. Dies were engraved and hand-punched, and even a small misalignment or a repeated strike could create an anomaly. To the mint workers, it was just an imperfection to discard. To collectors decades later, it became gold. Reset. Let's go deeper into the history. The Lincoln wheat penny design, introduced in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, ran until 1958. The wheat ears on the reverse side, those two graceful stalks curving inward, symbolize prosperity and unity. The 1956 issue, being near the end of that design's run, marked the final chapter of an American era. Perhaps that's why collectors feel a deep nostalgia toward it, a sense of holding not just a coin, but a piece of living history. A penny made for the price of copper could now be worth more than a mansion. When people hear $1 million penny, they think it's just a myth. But it's not. Auctions have proven it. Collectors have seen it. The 1956 D double die penny stands as one of the most jaw-dropping examples of what happens when rarity, condition, and demand collide. Now, if you're wondering how to tell if your coin might be the one, here's what to do. First, look at the date. It must read 1956 with a small d just below. Next, under magnification, check for doubling on the mint mark or on the numbers in the date. If you see any sign of a split image or shadow, don't dismiss it. Have it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can verify if your penny belongs to that ultra-rare variety. Reset. And don't underestimate the condition. A worn example might bring a few $100s, but one in pristine mint state could easily cross into 6 or even 7 figures. The difference between a few scratches and a flawless surface can mean the difference between pocket change and $1 million. Let's pause and imagine the emotion of discovery. The shaking hands, the disbelief, the rush of realizing that something so small, so familiar, could change your destiny. For many collectors, this is the dream that keeps them searching, the idea that a simple penny could be a golden ticket. Reset. If you've got old coins stored away, now is the time to look. Dig through those jars, those boxes of change, those rolls you've been saving for years. The 1956 D wheat penny could be hiding anywhere, in a garage sale, in a grandparent's keepsake tin, or in your own collection. Every great coin discovery begins with curiosity. The people who find treasures aren't always experts. They're just people who look twice, who take the time to see what others ignore. That's what separates an ordinary collector from a legendary one. Reset. Let's talk value for a moment. The highest verified sales for 1956 D errors have ranged in the hundreds of thousands, and the most perfect known examples, with doubling, flawless luster, and historical provenance, have reached over $1.4 million at private auctions. That's more than $1 million for a 1-cent coin. Think about that. This isn't just about money. It's about the thrill of discovery, the preservation of history, and the reminder that even the smallest things can hold incredible power. The Lincoln wheat penny is a symbol of perseverance, of America's strength, and of the enduring curiosity of those who keep searching. Reset. Somewhere, right now, a collector might be holding a 1956 D penny without realizing its true value. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's someone who hasn't checked their change in years. The odds are slim, but history has proven it happens. And when it does, lives change overnight. So tonight, when you open that drawer or check that jar of old coins, remember this story. Take a closer look. Because history doesn't always hide in museums. Sometimes it hides in plain sight, waiting for someone like you to uncover it. This is the story of the 1958 no-mint Mark Wheat Lincoln penny, a coin so rare, so mysterious, that even seasoned collectors have called it the ghost of the mint. Most people will live their entire lives without ever seeing one. But a very lucky few, have found it by accident, in pocket change, in coin jars, even in their grandfather's collection. And when they did, their lives changed forever. Back in 1958, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia was busy striking millions of Lincoln wheat cents. Over 252 million of them, to be exact. Ordinary coins meant for everyday use. But somewhere in that endless river of copper, something went wrong. A few pennies left the presses with a doubling error so dramatic that it seemed almost impossible. The date, the letters Liberty, and In God We Trust, all doubled. Crisp, clear, perfectly preserved. Only 3 are known to exist today. 3 out of hundreds of millions. Imagine the odds, like finding a needle in a galaxy of haystacks. Collectors have hunted this coin for decades, chasing whispers and rumors through estate sales and dusty antique shops. For years, many believed the 1958 double die was a myth, a fantasy created by coin enthusiasts. But then, in 1983, one surfaced. It was authenticated by experts and sent shockwaves through the entire numismatic world. A penny that should have been worth 1 cent was suddenly valued at over $1 million. Let that sink in. A coin that could have bought a stick of gum in 1958 now worth more than a luxury home. But here's the thing most people don't realize. The 1958 no-mint Mark Wheat penny doesn't look unusual at first glance. It's easy to overlook. Pick up your magnifying glass. Look closely at the date, 1958. If you see what looks like a faint second shadow, perfectly aligned and visible without distortion, you may be holding something extraordinary. Then check the word Liberty. The letters should appear doubled, strong, and distinct. The same goes for In God We Trust. Real doubling looks sharp, not blurry or smeared. If your penny shows those signs, stop. Don't clean it. Don't polish it. Handle it by the edges and get it authenticated immediately. Because the true 1958 double die penny is a national treasure, the kind of find that makes headlines and turns collectors into millionaires overnight. Now, let's rewind for a moment. Picture America in 1958. Eisenhower is president. Gas costs 24 cents a gallon, and a penny could actually buy something. Every day, the Philadelphia Mint churned out coins around the clock. The workers never imagined that a microscopic alignment error on a single die would create one of the rarest modern coins in U.S. history. No one knows for sure. Some say it was caused by a doubled hubbing process. A die struck twice, slightly off position. Others think it was an experimental die that slipped through inspection. Whatever the cause, it left a fingerprint on history. And because there are so few, every known example is tracked like fine art. One resides in a private collection, another confirmed by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. Each time one appears, it redefines what collectors thought possible. But here's where the story becomes truly haunting. Many experts believe there might still be 1 or 2 undiscovered examples out there, hiding in forgotten rolls of wheat pennies, waiting in dusty jars in American basements. Think about that. You could walk past one every single day and never know. And that's what makes coin collecting so powerful. It's not just about metal or money. It's about mystery. It's about the thrill of discovery. Every penny you touch could be a piece of history, a story, a secret waiting to be told. For some, the 1958 penny is a symbol, a reminder that hidden value exists where we least expect it. For others, it's a lifelong obsession. They spend hours under lamps, searching through coins one by one, chasing the dream that maybe, just maybe, they'll be the next to uncover the million-dollar penny. That if you're listening now, imagine the feeling. You hold that coin up to the light. You see the doubling, crisp and clear. Your pulse quickens. Your hands shake. You realize what it is. In that instant, time freezes. That's not just copper in your hand. It's a key to a new life. Now, some people ask, could my 1958 penny without a mint mark still be valuable, even if it's not doubled? The answer is yes, though not in the same stratosphere. A well-preserved, uncirculated 1958 wheat penny can still fetch several dollars, even up to $50 if it's in pristine red condition. But the doubled die, that's a whole different universe. That's the million-dollar territory. The 1958 no-mint mark double die penny is so elusive that even major coin dealers have never seen one in person. It's graded only a handful of times in history. That's how rare it is. And it's precisely that rarity that fuels the legend. Every few years, stories resurface. Someone finds an odd-looking penny, takes it to an appraiser, hopes rise and fall. But someday, somewhere, another one might emerge. Maybe it'll be you. Maybe it's already in your home. You pour out a jar of pennies onto the table. Among the brown, worn coins, one glints just a bit differently. You turn it under the light, and there it is. That sharp doubling, those crisp letters, the unmistakable signs. You check the date, 1958. No mint mark. Your heart starts pounding. You've just found one of the rarest coins in American history. It sounds impossible. But remember, the last one sold for over $1 million. A penny. 1 cent worth more than a mansion, a sports car, or an entire retirement fund. So, take this as your sign. Go through those jars, those drawers, those old piggy banks. Check your grandparents' collections. Look at every wheat penny from 1958. Because lightning has struck before, and it can strike again. Every collector knows this truth. The thrill isn't just in owning something valuable. It's in the hunt, the hope, the story. That's what keeps the spirit of coin collecting alive. And the 1958 no mint mark wheat Lincoln penny? It's the crown jewel of that dream.